My neighbor's playing Motley Crue. So, did you see the Netflix movie?
I haven't seen it. But
Really?
I read your stuff on it. It was just like, I gotta check this out. That first scene, because it's in the trailer, and I was just like,
Yeah.
motherfuckers.
Yeah. Well, it was the funny thing. I'm like, so I wrote that screenplay. Wow, this is not where I expected the episode to go. We're live right now. Let me just double check on Twitter, refresh it, make sure. I wrote that screenplay, and then we're live. Awesome. And then Nikki Sixx was doing a book signing downtown. This is back when I lived in Back Bay.
Yep.
And Nikki Sixx was doing a book signing for like an art book that he did. And I went to check it out because I loved The Dirt and I loved the Heroin Diaries. Did you read either of those?
I didn't.
Read The Dirt and then read The Heroin Diaries. Their story is incredible. Wild shit.
I mean, those guys
Wild
were
shit.
like right at like the seminal time of crazy shit in rock.
You can't even.
It was like Iggy Pop on coke. Like, it was amazing.
Well, you want to say it's like Iggy Pop on coke, but there's no way to describe the drug powerful enough compared to today, where we are in this moment of how good, or how insane they were.
Yeah.
So after I read that book, I'm like, all right, this obviously has to be made into a movie. So let me write my version.
Yep.
And I wrote it, and I gave it to Nikki Sixx, and he, whatever, he got like a million little gifts, so he put it aside. I just forgot about it. I'm like, I'm letting it go to the, let the gods be and let it happen. And then, years later, years go by, and the first scene I wrote in it, I made up. Like, it has nothing to do with The Dirt. Has nothing to do with the Heroin Diaries.
No, it's just that, like,
it was oral sex. It was an oral sex scene, right? But
you don't see it.
Well, yeah, and I flipped it. Well, flipped it. They were getting it instead of giving it. Yep. But it's the opening scene of the movie. It's a little bit different. But I turn on Netflix and I'm watching it, going, oh, okay, this is the opening scene. So am I Shakespeare? I'm not Shakespeare here. Did somebody maybe think, oh, that'd be a cool way to open the movie? Sure, it's possible. Or his wife could have read it and been like, oh, this is a cool scene. Or anybody could have read it. And I shared it around. And they're like, well, all right, this is a good idea, but why don't we just flip it so I don't get in trouble?
Yep.
So I was like, all right, fine. But that movie.
Yo, I bet it was Kat Von D. Like, she's like,
in case you're wondering here,
this nail polish thing's not working out. Let's get into this. Do
you find? I mean, I'm married. You're in a long-term committed relationship.
Yep.
Do you find women with tattoos attractive?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why? Or just like the tattoos attractive, or do you like that Suicide Girl look?
Both maybe.
Yeah. What about it? Anything? Just like bad girl type thing?
No, I kind of just like the idea of somebody being creative enough to put the art on themselves. Even if it's just like some minuscule thing, just like, whatever, my body's a canvas.
Right.
That said, I don't have any.
You don't have any tattoos?
No.
No, neither do I.
No.
Why? Why'd you not go tattoo?
I haven't had anything. Like, I feel like people, when they do their first tattoo, it's usually some sort of profound statement thing. And I wasn't sure what I would put on myself.
Yeah, that's exactly why I didn't do it.
Yeah, and but like, I'd always been very close to my grandmother, and I had an idea of like putting her face like on a chess piece.
Okay.
But haven't done it, and my mom just passed away in March, and thought maybe something like that, but still haven't.
I'm sorry, I didn't know your mom passed away.
Yeah. It was a long time. I mean, it was a long time coming. She had several battles with cancer and whatever. But
did COVID have anything to do with like the?
No, but it was the week. So March 13th. We were like called into the hospital to basically hear that she was going to pass away, like that she was turning down the rest of the treatment, and not that the treatment was going to help any. She had multiple myeloma.
What's that?
It's a cancer form that attacks all types of different bodily functions, but doesn't metastasize the way that like a pancreatic cancer does or something like that. But it can go through bones, bone marrow. So where it affected my mom, it deteriorated her spine to the point where she needed 2 rods put down her entire back, and then 26 screws.
Oh my God!
To keep her spine basically active. And then the myeloma just attacked other things, and it ultimately ended up attacking her kidney function. To the point where her body was basically shutting down. But the
Do you want to talk about this took a left turn?
This
I
is
know
fine.
you don't have to
the
talk about
myeloma
it.
just takes a much longer time to deteriorate someone, and you never know how it's going to do it. So it could be cancer within the bones. It could be like a leukemia type thing into the blood. It can so it's really weird, like how it metastasizes and how it manifests. In addition to that, she also had 2 bouts with breast cancer.
Oh wow!
And was re-diagnosed with the breast cancer at the same time as finding out she had the multiple myeloma on her back.
Did you? So
the
13th was before things got shut down.
Yeah,
right?
so the 13th was actually when they first started shutting down stuff in Boston. Was literally the 13th. So she was in the hospital that time, and I had to.
Well, I didn't expect that. That's fireworks.
Yeah.
It's only July 12th.
It's weird though, in
this is gonna be a fun episode.
In Somerville, where I live.
Yeah. Is it like a war zone?
It was, but we had fireworks for like 40-something days in a row in Boston, Cambridge, Somerville area.
And they didn't. Well, Curtatone didn't shut it down.
It was impossible to do so.
Right.
And this is when you saw on the probably the people in Cambridge that got caught. The bag was left, and it had $3,000 to $4,000 of cash, 6 mortar fireworks, and a bunch of Roman candles.
Well, all right, I
story?
understand the fire. No, what happened? But $3K in cash. What
dude,
the?
Oh, and there was some weed in there too. But like,
okay, so was it a drug deal and a firework deal?
But that's what I was like. I was like, what? Like,
are people
maybe you'd be
people
handing all
dealing
that stuff?
drugs and the weed? Well, how much weed?
Enough for a scale, but it was probably only like an ounce and a half. Like,
all right, that's not enough weed to like claim it as a drug deal. No, dealing.
It's enough to claim it for your cash. It's like,
So somebody
like,
wanted.
That's my cash and weed.
I want to. How do you
fireworks?
How do you think that worked out? Do you think it was like the guy was selling fireworks? And
Nobody claimed that. The
he's
cops
like, give me like
that shit up on the 4th because it was just before.
Do you think the guy was like selling the fireworks? Do you think the guy was selling the? Well, he wasn't selling the weed. Did he trade the weed for the fireworks?
Yeah, who knows? Like, why would there
That's
be
a weird
cash,
deal.
weed, a scale, and fireworks? Like, if you're selling weed, wouldn't you already weigh it out? So why have the scale?
That's the only weed. That's the weed that they found.
Yeah, but like,
if you're weighing multiple bags.
Yeah, so maybe you're doing, here's the $3,000 in cash from another deal.
Yeah,
putting all that stuff into the same bag.
Maybe it was like a deal for $4 or $5 grand, but they're like, look, I have $3 grand cash,
and here's a grand of weed,
and here's a grand worth of weed in the scale, and like, happy 4th of July.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a fun.
But it's really interesting.
It's a fun 4th of July.
but the fireworks since the 4th of July have basically been non-existent. I'm like, is everybody burnt out? Like, for 40-something days in a row, people were losing their shit about like how many fireworks are going off.
Did you see the video? Did you see the video of L.A.?
Yeah,
that was sick.
Yeah,
should I play it and pull it up? Let me pull it up. Let me pull that up.
On the 4th, Boston kind of resembled the same, and it's interesting because I can see the first flag from Prospect Hill. The Grand Union flag.
Yeah, let me play this. Oh, somebody's still lighting up. Let me go like this. Hang on.
but you could hear stuff like that. Like,
Right. I don't know if the mics are gonna pick it up.
Oh, that's too bad.
It'll
That
be funny,
Doppler
though.
effect of the
Yeah.
thing going is like pretty amazing.
So look at this. So on the video, I'll show you the video.
I can.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
It's crazy how all over LA it was just nuts like
Yeah,
that.
that's how I would assume the actual Revolutionary Battle going. Like looking up that, you know.
That would be pretty cool.
It would be pretty cool. But that's what it felt like from looking at my porch, because I can see Prospect Hill with that flag on it,
Okay.
and then you see all the fireworks and stuff, and it was pretty impressive, especially the sound, because there was a good 15 minutes where it was just a constant stream of fireworks going off, probably around 10:30 p.m. that day.
I always get freaked out. I can't. Even when I was a kid. Did you light them off when you were a kid?
My sister's birthday's 4th of July, so.
But
yeah.
did you light the fireworks? Did you actually set the fire?
I've lit fireworks, yeah.
I always used to get freaked out. Like, I never liked it because it was like you get close and you always hear about people blowing up their hand and stuff like that. So I was always a pussy about it.
When I was probably like 12 years old, my neighbor came home from Army Rangers, and was like, "Oh, I have some fireworks, blah blah blah," and he lit off a M80, but like lit it and the wick went too fast, and he just threw it, and it landed in our yard, and blew a big hole in the backyard. And dude, I'd never seen my mom like so pissed at somebody else's kid.
That's scary when you see parents like the neighborhood
Yeah,
kids.
but we was like, my sister was there, who's like 7 years younger than me and stuff, and like, so she's like 5, and the little kids in the backyard watching like the fireworks, and the first thing this dude does is blow a hole in the backyard. So my mom wasn't having it.
Oh man. So, where the hell we start off with? We're not streaming anymore, but we're recording. No big deal. We'll post it. The Motley Crue thing.
Yeah.
So back to that. We never finished that. But anyway, that movie wasn't very good.
I believe that.
Here's the problem. It came out like last year, right? 2019.
Yep.
I couldn't somehow living in 2020. The stuff they did back then, what you knew was like wild and cool and crazy.
Oh, dude,
It isn't like
do
anymore.
That stuff on a Thursday now.
No,
Stop
it. I mean, these guys, you're having a much more fun life than me, living in the suburbs.
No, but you're totally right. Like,
but it's
stuff
like
that seemed insane back then.
It's not that it doesn't seem insane now, because it does seem insane.
Yeah,
but it
feels
seems
much more prominent,
like less cool. Like, I imagine something similar is going on today in the world. I'm sure the rock star life is still the rock star life, but now I hear about, these guys who like they rest, they don't do drugs, they don't really drink, they bring a yoga instructor with them on tour. Like it's just a different world. Like that world doesn't exist.
Moby's a vegan,
Yeah, right.
Like
they gotta have
like the
gluten free
Yeah.
setup in the back and backstage.
But then there's like the whole DJ lifestyle thing, which people are still doing.
They're doing so much cocaine.
Yeah, and you see like there's this guy named Solomon who's like basically become a meme of
Who's
being
Solomon?
at literally every after party.
Okay.
So you're more likely to see Solomon in the daytime
Can I search
at
him?
an after party than at night.
Is he a singer?
He's a DJ.
Solomon, just like it sounds.
Yep.
Solomon.
M-U-N though.
Solomon. Space. Boiler Room. What's his big hit?
I wouldn't say there's big hits with DJ sets.
Oh, DJ sets.
Yeah.
Solomon Boiler Room DJ set. Let me play some of it. You want to throw your headphones on real quick?
Sure.
You can lean forward here. What is my age? I don't want to say. There you go. Hang on. All right, I'll turn it up a little bit. Here we go. All right, maybe fast forward this. He's early on. I'm gonna go to like minute 6. Here we go.
And he gets into it.
Come on. This guy's probably making. Oh, there's an ad. God damn it. I'm muting that. I'm muting the ad. Sorry.
I'm surprised there's an ad on.
How many hits does this guy have? Let me see.
Well, I mean, he's the guy's making millions at parties. So.
44 million hits.
Yeah.
It's a 2-hour DJ set.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I've never heard of this guy.
Oh yeah. Next time you're out really late, come home at like 6 a.m. Put this DJ set on.
Come home at 6
It'll
a.m.
be perfect. Yeah.
What have you been doing that you come home at 6 a.m.? Where you're just suggesting it?
I'm suggesting it. I'm not talking about what I'm doing at 6 a.m.
All right. I've had enough of Solomon.
Right?
He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 discs, spinners going.
Yeah.
And a mixer in the middle. All right, that's it. That's cool.
The guy knows what he's doing. He's, partying up. Probably going to be our age.
Making a boatload of cash. You can pop the headphones off if you want. I'll put them back on.
Making a ton just doing that.
A little buggy. Yeah, the DJ set, the electronic dance music scene.
Mm-hmm.
That I probably think is still the wildest scene out there.
Maybe. I'm still doing it, and there's random stuff in there.
What are you doing?
I still go out and listen to music that way.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
EDM or like live bands?
Both. I like to keep an active social life, and I can do so because
You don't have kids.
Don't have kids.
Yeah. Well, you can do that.
Yeah.
It's an inhibiting factor.
Yeah, I bet it is.
My only thing, with quarantine was like we were gonna go to Billy Joel. Actually, did it just happen? No, it would have been coming up.
It would have been
coming up at the end of the month, but then they pushed it out till August of next year. I like EDM. I listen to a lot of it at the gym. Like it's good workout music, and then I find myself listening to it in the car.
Yep, I could see that. It's good driving music.
It's good. It just and actually when I need to like write something or put something together,
I was just gonna say that
I
as
pop
background
it in.
music.
Yeah,
it doesn't have vocals a lot of times.
Yep.
And it
I
just
like
kind of
Deadmau5.
keeps a nice beat.
Deadmau5 is key. Yep. Yeah, I like him a lot. He's my favorite. I don't like. It's tough to say I don't like him, but like Skrillex.
Yeah, and same.
He just changes the
dubstep.
Yeah. Yeah. It sucks.
I'm all set.
No, thank you. Yeah. I like a rhythm, a verse, and a chorus. And I'm vanilla about like there's a formula and I like it.
Yeah.
And the reason why do I like it because it's the formula or does
maybe?
But the formula works.
Yeah.
So what do I care?
Well, it's like you ever see those guys that play this is a 4-chord song or something.
What do you mean in terms of?
So they do every song that's like a major pop song,
right?
By just playing like these same 4 chords or 3 chords or something.
They are, yeah.
And it's, these guys are making a living playing comedy, music with comedy or comedy with music, and doing these shows based on like their big draws. Like we can make any song because it's like 3 chords, 4 chords.
So they're comedians?
Yeah, they're basically musician comedians.
No shit.
Yeah, I forget what they're called. It's not like as cool as Flight of the Conchords, but they're funny.
Okay. What are they called? You know?
I don't know.
You don't know. You saw them.
Yeah,
on
look
YouTube
up 3-chord song. It's probably there.
Okay, I'll do that afterwards.
You might fall into a hole because there's so many of them.
Oh God, yeah. Well, that's the success of Green Day and
like
the
literally
Strokes
everybody.
and all
These
this.
guys play so many songs that you're just like, holy shit, that's the same thing.
Yeah. It's the exact same thing. There was somebody did that with the Chainsmokers too.
Yeah,
like here's how you make a Chainsmokers song.
Yeah.
They didn't do it as like a comedy bit, but they did it as just like here's how you make a Chainsmokers song, and it's like, oh, okay. And it's like if you could just apply that to anything, but I think there's more to it than that. There's some kind of
there's real technical skill from somebody who's DJing well or producing
the production
music that electronic music. There's real skill behind that.
Yeah.
That said, I mean, like, to each their own in terms of music taste.
Yeah, mine are pretty varied now. I mean, I didn't think I'd be. I've been listening to, like, in the car, a lot of jazz.
Really?
Like Miles Davis. Just, I mean, it's the Sirius XM jazz channel, but jazz and Sinatra, a lot of Sinatra. It's just it puts me in the right
I've
mood.
never hated Sinatra, but I've never really there are some songs that I'm very attracted to.
Which
there
ones?
are other songs that I'm just like,
Oh, look, they're not all.
And I get that people are into Sinatra, but like,
Sinatra is a mood. It's like,
I like Sinatra with Gene Kelly.
Yeah.
I don't like. I love I love the badassery of Sinatra throughout, like the confidence, the swagger.
Toots.
Yeah, like you know, like the Hoboken comes out. But like, as far as like musical vibe, like I rarely ever turn it on. That said, I rarely ever turn it off either.
It's if you are having like a dinner party and you want conversation, or you're making dinner. It's good making dinner music.
Making dinner music, I put on usually either like Latin music if my girlfriend's there.
Okay.
Or
is that because you're cooking Latin food or no?
No, just because she likes anything that you can shake your hips to.
Nice.
And I like seeing that.
Yeah.
So
you don't need to justify it.
So we put on that, but if I'm by myself and cooking, it's like any random thing.
Yeah.
And I could be listening to like I don't know, the Misfits one day to I don't know, like Fantastic Negrito, or like, you know, old school bebop jazz or something. Like I'll just put on random stuff.
Well, you got on the Joy Division shirt.
Yeah.
Did you see 24-Hour Party People?
No.
You haven't seen 24-Hour Party People?
I don't think so.
Oh, fuck. Let me put that up. 24-Hour Party People is... I haven't seen it in a few years. Here. All right.
I like how these bugs know that there's a radius in which if they come any closer, they may or may not die.
Yeah.
So they're just like, except for this one, this basically Mothra. Look at this thing. Jesus.
Well, I got the what do you call it going? The this little device here that is supposed to keep bugs with 6 feet away. Yeah. Here, all right. So go to them. Wait, bring the mic over. Let me flip it over and put the headphones on. Let me see. So this is the 2-minute official trailer Simon Pegg movie. No, I thought it was this one. Here we go. It's going to be an ad.
Of course it is.
Hi, I'm Tony Wilson, and this is the trailer for 24-Hour Party People. It's the incredible but true story of the man behind the scene that defined a decade.
Who is this man?
This is not about sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
It's a great fucking movie.
Although they are in it. It's not how it looks, love. It's not about me. I only got a blowjob. That's full penetration. It's about music. This is the moment where
it's hilarious,
even
too.
the white man starts dancing. And it's about people with impossible dreams.
It's like Scooby-Doo, isn't it? Because they had a bush, didn't they?
Steve Coogan, that's
like
his name.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
This
He's phenomenal.
I think he's hilarious in this.
and there are guns. Really ought to be careful with that, Sean. You could take someone's eye out. Name of the film company, director's credit, the bloke who plays me, title graphic, 24-Hour Party People. Release date,
This is fantastic.
silly bit at the end.
The pity you didn't sign the Smiths, but you were right about Mick Hucknall. His music's rubbish and he's a ginger.
It's fucking great.
And he's a ginger.
Yep.
Website and credit block that nobody ever reads. We're finished. Can I keep this suit?
So There you go. Let me go back to this. I gotta figure. All right, let me just double check something that we're going out here.
I think Steve
Unknown
Coogan's
error occurred when
hilarious.
starting the export process. The error generated was MS. Quality may be reduced. I'm hoping. Please stop all outputs and change out. No, I'm not doing that. I should be recording. All right, we're recording. I'm going to try to. I might stop the recording here. Hang on.
Sure.
And make sure. Okay.
Like we don't water mine,
We're recording.
but they come on like they bloom
Yeah.
with those little pussy willow things. What's that about? Just bloom from ambient air?
I don't understand how it all
It's
works
like the lizard
necessarily.
tail of trees.
The what? The lizard
The
tail? Oh, and
lizard-
now you just chop it off and it starts growing again?
Yeah.
Yeah. What lizard does that?
I don't know, but it's so weird.
I
Right?
swear to God, it would probably be cruel, but I'd want to try.
Just all different ones.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
like if
does
you
every
have a
lizard
lizard
do
that does that, don't you have to do that
I
just
don't
to
know.
see if it works, or is that like, or is PETA gonna like get after you?
I feel like Peter would probably.
PETA
do
would
something.
do that. Yeah,
But
I mean,
it
it's
is
kind of
It is a
cruel.
natural mechanism of the animal.
Do they
That
do that?
said-
Does it fall off of the defense if it gets it's a defense it's a defense
Yeah,
mechanism,
I
right?
don't
It
know. And
falls
how does
off.
that work? Does it like shoot off its coccyx? Like
You know,
that's a very bizarre thing.
I gotta get a producer and like Jamie that shit. You watch Rogan, Jamie that shit. Figure it out.
I used to live in Costa Rica and went to the beach one time.
Which beach? I visited there.
We were at Playa Hermosa, which is like just south of Jaco.
I went to
on the
Jaco.
Pacific Coast.
I went to Jaco, yeah.
It's like if you were to head down towards Manuel Antonio from Jaco
Okay.
on the Pacific.
On the
it's
Pacific
like
side,
the,
yeah.
the first main beach there. It's really beautiful, and it's got like
You-
they do a lot of the small wave championships and stuff there because the waves curl. It's like a perfect meter and a half wave.
That's why I went to Jaco, because I
Yeah,
wanted to
'cause
learn
it's
how to
pretty much
surf.
like
yeah,
that.
I want to learn. I was terrible, but I learned. I almost drowned.
I'm also
I almost
terrible,
drowned,
which is
but
weird. I have like pretty good balance, but
yeah.
I don't know. There's just some things that elude me.
So what were you doing?
but
Why were
I-
you living in Costa Rica?
I was helping start an office down there.
Oh, is this for back when you worked for the other company?
Yep.
Okay.
And this was in like 2011, but went down there that winter, missed the whole like snow and everything from up here. Very luckily.
That's nice.
Yeah. So met awesome people, but the first weekend I was down there, second weekend I was down there, took a trip to Playa Hermosa, and there was this hotel that some of our friends were staying at that they had, so we could have like a cabana on the beach right there.
Mm-hmm.
And like there was a pool and then also the beach like 100 meters from each other, so it was just very bizarre that would be a thing.
You never been to a resort with the pool near the beach?
I have, but it's just like this didn't seem like the place to have that.
Okay.
It just seemed very like surfer old school type of place, but
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Nice enough.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sitting there and there's like dudes that sell like shitty weed like on the beach and whatever. And my friend and I had just finished smoking like this really shitty spliff that we had.
You had shitty weed in Costa Rica?
Yeah, like some of it's pretty bad and then some of it's really good.
How the that I would think it would all be good.
Nah, like this was like who are gonna sell this to tourist weed. It's what they called Jamaican or
They just
it's just like regular dirty like
Yeah,
the weed people were smoking in college.
Yeah.
Not me, but other people.
Yeah.
And then
It's legal now, man.
yeah, it felt legal back then too, but I tried back then to even be discerning with my weed smoking.
I would
taste.
not have known the difference ever.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But anyway,
you're in Playa
we
del.
just smoked this thing, and I see this this iguana, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like something weird looks like that. Like is something with the weird look of that iguana. Like something's off, but I can't really tell what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing takes this weird corner, so you can see you see it both coming at you, but then you see like the horizontal picture. And
Right.
it wasn't until that I realized this thing was missing a tail. and it was like a good 2 feet long, like body.
So it looks like. Does it look
So
like
it should have been
like a
like-
jacked up frog or something?
Yeah,
right.
like a long frog. It looks so weird. I was just like, "Whoa, like what's in this? I was like, whoa. But it was so weird, man.
Oh God. Did you now without hypothetically? Did you buy that in at one of those dispensaries, like a store?
This?
Yeah.
No, I have a delivery service.
Okay. Amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. This is 2020, man.
This is like you order on your
There
phone.
were delivery services back in the day in New York City.
Well, yeah, they were called drug dealers, but
Yeah, but I mean, you could get a guy like delivery on a bike to come over to your place and give you these like little plastic canisters with an eighth in each one of them.
wow.
And then it had like a little sticker on top of like what it was. So you had like little Casper ones, and you're like, ooh, or like there was one place that had like cereal mascots on them.
Okay.
And there was this one weed that was supposed to be blueberry kush or whatever.
Right.
But it had like the booberry on it. And I remember a friend of mine just like, oh my God, booberry. Like, we have booberry weed.
Is it stronger?
I
Like
mean,
it-
technically
what
it's
is
supposed to be like a different strain and blah, blah.
Is
It's
it-
good weed. But
Is it like, all right, so explain this to me, because I haven't smoked in, God, over, 43, like from my mid to late 20s. So it's got to be 15, 18
everything's
years.
changed from then.
Right. So you never knew what you're getting. Now there's like 100 different strains that you
Yeah,
can,
and now
you
people
can
can be more discerning.
more
with it.
discerning about it.
Yep.
But is the discernment like, for instance, I'm drinking Sam Adams. Is it Sam Adams and Bud, like just a different flavor, or is there genuinely a different effect?
There's different effects.
Really?
Yeah.
So
You can almost, and they're based on the strain. People design strains based on the different effects.
tell me more about what the effects are. I mean, more hallucinatory?
It depends on the weed. I mean, I wish.
Well, stuff like, so obviously some stuff just mellows you out. Some stuff
Yeah.
makes you giggly.
Yep.
I guess nothing makes you hyper, no? Or
Not true.
really?
Yeah.
I would not want to be
So
hyper
there are
and
some
high.
sativa strains that almost by their nature bring like a hyper alertness to the point of almost anxiety if you smoke too much of them.
Okay. So and the potency, I imagine, is like a lot higher nowadays, right? Because they've perfected
Yeah.
like the transparency in what they sell is probably
Well, I mean, you can literally design for THC,
THC
levels,
yeah.
CBD,
right.
and the various types of both.
I use CBD.
Mhm.
That stuff is great.
Yep.
I've used
It's
it.
interesting.
I've used it,
too,
but
that
I've used it on like
hemp was villainized for so long.
well, I've used it on my knee.
Yep.
There's
Like a topical.
topical.
Yep.
Like a topical for my knee, helped out with a ton of my knee pain. I was doing tinctures. I do some tinctures before, sometimes when I train MMA.
Yep.
And when I play tennis.
For the knees. For like inflammation.
No,
or
just
pain,
for, I
or-
just tried it for shits and giggles to see what the effect would be. Like, how do I play?
and you
taking
respond to it better.
freaking Roger Federer, man. Like, unbelievable.
incredible.
No, I swear to God. Like, if you're a pro athlete that hasn't tried it, try it.
Yeah.
But don't like try it every day for practice. Like, do it right
No,
before.
get into
do it right before a game, or like a scrimmage, or
Well-
something like that, or like where you're going to intensely play, and just compare the difference. Now, could be placebo.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I've tried it enough where it's like I'm because the CBD, you're not high at all. I mean, I used to smoke, like I said, ages ago, but it's like I'm dialed in. It's like I'm focused.
The focus.
The focus. I tried it.
Because that's actually one of the reasons why I smoke is because my ADD is like,
Yeah.
and it allows me
It
to
brings you
actually
into
focus.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. No, I found it very beneficial, and I didn't even have that strong a CBD tincture. It was like the weakest one. that they had at where I bought it from. But I liked it. I haven't done it since, because when
you should try a THC tincture. It's pretty intense. I wouldn't suggest it getting right back in.
No. I did the thing about it is I wanted to do. I don't want it to fuck me up. I want to be focused. I want it to be a performance enhancer. Because when I've taken the CBD, no THC, it's a performance enhancer.
Yep.
For sure. That and a little bit of caffeine.
Caffeine's tight.
I mean, it hits the spot.
Yep. I'm a huge advocate of caffeine.
Ton. But I reach a certain point in the day where I can't do anymore. I have one gigantic, in the summertime it's great. I go to Starbucks, I get my ridiculously, $4 Trenta iced coffee. Black, little bit of sweetener. And
you don't get the Dunks regular?
No, what, regular with all the cream and the sugar? I used to. How did you start out? When did you start drinking coffee?
When I was young, but my mom would make it like the Dunks regular.
Oh God, no.
But
no.
I was
put on a lot of weight.
Probably in high school when I switched to black. And I, like they say, you don't go back.
I haven't put cream back in. I do a little bit of sweetener.
Even for iced coffee, I don't really put any milk or cream in it anymore.
Iced coffee, if you get the cold brews and things like that,
I love
they
a good
don't. They
cold
have
brew.
a kind of a chocolatey flavor, and you don't need it as much.
Yep.
Dunkin's especially. I got the Dunkin's cold brew.
I live right near a
before I
Dunkin',
played
and
some
I
golf
actually
the other day.
pass it to go to anywhere else.
What, you say that again?
There are several coffee shops in my neighborhood where I can walk
Somerville,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, and I will pass Dunkin' Donuts to go elsewhere, just because I find their coffee like either too large, and I mean at some point, like the iced coffee size, like I mean
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of liquid.
Yeah, it's a lot of liquid and it's a lot of caffeine.
Yeah.
And I don't need that much caffeine for performance, but I do like a good caffeine buzz.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
But like
I could, if gun to my head, like you have to give up drinking alcohol or coffee or caffeine.
Yeah, I would pick alcohol.
Alcohol, not even a question, because it's just like that morning.
Yeah,
that little jolt, and it just keeps me going.
Coffee experience, like.
Yeah. There's a ritual.
I like to do a pour over at my house.
Oh, you're fancy. I don't know. I just do the K-cups.
I don't even think it's simple. It's literally just boil water and pour it over a thing.
I know, but it's more effort. It's more effort than popping a little.
It is more effort, but I like the ritual of it just because it's very like very Zen process.
The ritual of coffee is glorious.
I think it's great.
It's one of the few things you can look forward to in the morning, right? As you wake up and you're like, fuck, like you're dragging, or maybe you're a little hungry, and like that first
like
take that
5
sip, and
minutes
you're like,
for me from like when I have to pour the water to drink it, that 5-minute space, for me is like a very Zen, quiet moment almost, even if people that have other stuff going on, because I'm like watching the water and like watching the thing fill up to 350 milliliters, like
it's definitely
it's a whole process.
It's a Zen experience for sure. I love it.
Yep, I love it.
Oh God.
I used to when I was in Costa Rica as well, like they have these things that basically looks like a long coffee sock.
Now they grow the beans down there.
Yeah. I'd spent some time on some farms and stuff there too.
That must have been the shit though.
It was awesome, man. Their coffee's so dope.
Like stronger, just smoother, just tastes better, everything.
Yeah, and we get good Costa Rican coffees in the States, like for
ship
import,
it in,
fair trade programs and whatever.
Right. And
just the import export, but like some of the coffees that are down there that they keep.
They don't export them. They're
it's
like
smart,
they
man.
keep it for themselves.
Yeah, it's like, wait, what is this? Like it's perfect. Smart.
Oh God. No. Life's been pretty good. I mean, how are you surviving shutdown? You can work.
Pretty
Can you and
well.
Alyssa you can work from home?
Yeah. She can do most of everything from home. And it's all just like working with a team and how those things go through. For me though, right before COVID started in March, I had taken on a role to help build the startup.
Right, yeah.
So the entire experience that I've had since COVID had started and post my mom passing away, like, which was the week after the shutdown stuff,
Right.
has been all basically working on this thing from home. And we put a pause on our operations outside of it, obviously, because we're doing stuff in coffee shops and corporations. So to switch that up, it's given us a really great opportunity to actually, rebuild our programs and put more thought behind what we're doing in terms of safety. So
nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's good. Did you put on any weight?
Dude, I was already fat. It's hard to tell. Well, I did.
I did.
Yeah. I mean, it just blends in at this point. But like, I also a couple weeks ago had food poisoning. I had E. coli.
Ooh, shit.
So in a week, I lost 12 pounds. But
that's not a real 12.
Yeah, that's not a real 12.
No.
That's mostly like head weight.
Yeah.
Like. That was like just severe dehydration and whatever. I put it right back on when I took my first sip of water that I could swallow.
Right. No, I put on 5 pounds when it first started because I'm home, with my wife and my daughter. It's cold. It's still freaking March in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And
it's just snacks.
I was getting out. I went to the store because I would be the only one that go out. Mask up.
Yep.
Go to the store. Just when I'm going up, like, did you? I haven't really even talked about this. When I first went
to the grocery store.
Well, let me tell you something. This is what happened. So the beginning of quarantine, I was flying back March 11th. It was a Wednesday. I had to come. I had some work that I was flying back in for. Right. So I fly back in that afternoon. I go back up to my office on Thursday, like the 12th, and we're talking about. We're like, yeah, they're gonna shut things down this weekend. And no lie, that Friday into Saturday, 13th and the 14th, they shut it down. But on my way home from the office on Thursday the 12th, or I think it was, I'm like, oh, man, I should go by the supermarket. And I went by because I loaded. I'm thinking, okay, what do you need if this shit gets real bad? Because it was bad in Italy, it was bad in China. What happens? I start going in, and I go to Hannaford's, and luckily they had plenty of beef, plenty of chicken, and I'm just taking big.
Meanwhile, people are buying up paper towels.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm loading up on beef and chicken. Because you can freeze that in the last 6 months in the freezer. You wrap it in some cellophane, wrap it in some foil. It lasts 6 months, no freezer burn. Load up on that. I call my wife. I'm like, you need to go get this. Like, get pasta and tuna and this. And I just loaded up. And, yeah, you're right. I went by the paper towel and toilet paper aisle.
Like, what?
Like, what the fuck? Why is that empty?
Like
that never made any sense. I've never talked about this. Yeah, since
like you said, like what is going on?
If you're gonna be home, you can always even take a shower after you take a dump.
It was so strange.
If it's that bad, that was the weirdest part about this.
I'm also pro bidet. Huge.
I'm thinking about installing one.
Yeah, you should get it.
But I don't know if I'm ready to make that change.
Try it out.
That's like. Apple to PC. That's like a
not down with
iPhone
it.
to Android,
then,
man. I don't know.
2005, I spent a few months in India, and my hotel had this like little spray nozzle thing, and I was like, yeah, like I think more places in the U.S. should get used to having bidets. They're fantastic.
How does it work?
It just sprays water.
I understand that, but do you sit to
There's
one
different
side?
types. There are the
Right.
ones with the nozzles.
Because it's got to go down, right? It's got to drain.
Yeah, there's ones with the nozzles.
Okay.
And then there's ones
So it's like
with
a
the
wand,
underseat
like a
spray
wand?
thing.
So the nozzle.
It's like the nozzle that you would have at your sink.
Okay. All right.
Like
so
pressurized water. Like,
pressurized water. Does the how? But you're
You
spraying
spray it
it
on your
up.
ass.
You spray it on your ass, just on your ass, and it all drips down into the bowl.
Yeah.
Okay. It never pops out and escapes.
Why would that happen?
Because if you're pointing it up,
What kind of pressure are you talking about on this thing?
oh, it's just a gentle stream.
Yeah,
Oh, so like, all right, so
dude,
explain.
it's not like a freaking pressure washer. It's
That's
like,
what I'm thinking.
no, it's
No,
like
it's like a water fountain.
yeah, it's like
When you press the water fountain at the library or at a gym, it's like you press the water, just blue, 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 like a bubbler.
It's not like a bubbler. It's like more like a sprayer thing, like a spray nozzle.
Okay,
So there's that type.
but I'm sorry.
And then
is
there's-
it a mist?
Is it? I mean, no, it's not a mist.
But it's a
that'd
solid-
be interesting if it was just a light steam. Like, I don't think that's a thing yet. But it's a lightly pressurized water. It's
Okay.
not a fucking like.
Yeah, they sold out of them though. They're probably still sold out. You probably can't buy a bidet
I'm sure you
now.
can buy it
They probably
easily.
production of them is just ramped up enough.
Maybe.
Think about it throughout this whole thing, like the toilet,
Hey,
the
you
great
see on
toilet paper
Facebook,
scare
you
of
see, like,
2020.
Tushy everything.
Right.
Yeah, right around that time, which was genius. But I don't know why people weren't into bidets before. It's like you had to go to like the plaza to see one. But like, why did they disappear?
I couldn't get into a public bidet if you had to if I'm holding
But
on
you'd
to
use a public toilet. So
Yeah,
what
but
if
I'm
there
not
was
grabbing it with my hands.
So then this goes to the same thing where there's an underseat sprayer,
okay,
which
but
is
no,
the
I don't.
second
but
type.
you don't touch
which
that.
is like what Tushy is and these
Okay.
other ones.
That seems more. I don't know.
Hygienic.
Hygienic
Imagine
and
these
acceptable.
like and these are old school. Like I've actually seen these. Like a friend of mine has one of these that was already in his bathroom when he bought his place. But they're these Japanese designed toilet seats, and they have heat. They have cooling.
Oh, he's.
They
nice.
have.
Yeah,
I mean, one of them has a reading light. Like,
it's a bit much.
but yeah, I mean, depends. Apartments in Tokyo are probably pretty small, from what I hear.
How does it come over your back? How's the reading light work?
Yeah, it comes up from the seat.
Oh,
Yeah, they thought
That's-
of everything.
that does okay.
And anyway, this thing has a built-in underseat bidet, which comes out and
Right.
sprays.
Okay.
But I don't even know how we got on this topic, but it is an interesting. Oh, because the
quarantine, stocking up on food. Yeah, and
But
when it
anyway,
started,
I'm
but
surprised
I
the-
was surprised. But not only that, I guess you could the thing is, all it takes to make a run on toilet paper is one asshole making a run on toilet paper. If you think about it,
Good pun.
I didn't even get that.
I usually don't get puns. I thought that was obvious.
I didn't. Unintentional. No pun intended.
But yeah,
But-
I agree.
But
And
one,
this is when these
one,
assholes were buying up like 10,000
right.
rolls of toilet paper.
Then you have to go make a run on it because somebody else started it. Like it doesn't make sense.
Simple
but you
demand economics.
You need it, but that demand spike on it throws everything akimbo.
But this is why these morons thought they were going to be able to sell back at like
Oh,
some premium price.
I
like,
would have beat the shit out of
Yeah.
anybody who I saw
Anybody
them
who did
jacking
that's
up
a
that.
jackass.
Fuck them.
But
No,
that said,
but what made no sense were the people who were buying bottled water.
bottled water escapes
What?
me.
I'm like, dude, this is not a hurricane. It's not a snowstorm. You're not going to need bottled. You have the sink.
Bottled
Like you
water
need.
is
Plus,
a
you
thing
need.
that I have issues with anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the best for the environment.
And not only that, but it's like that there are companies that control the water.
What do you mean, like
Like
Poland
scaled.
Spring?
Yeah, that are but for example, like Nestle Waters controls some of the public water supply because they've bought in at below public prices.
Really?
Yeah, in order to just fill up bottles like Dasani, that's not spring water. That's literally
They pump it out of somewhere.
That's pumped water.
Yeah. They filter it a bunch. Hopefully.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah.
They don't have to because it's already drink quality water. So I don't know. That's just one of those things I just think is weird. And also being able to trace back to like a specific spring would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of naming a thing like, I don't know if Poland Spring is actually where they source this from.
Don't you remember the song?
Coming to
Spring
you straight from Maine.
Yeah. You know where it is. Why would they lie in the song, Derek?
Exactly.
I don't think they would. Well, yeah, but buying the bottled water for COVID was stupid.
It was stupid.
That's stupid. Plus, you need the room in your house for protein and
Exactly.
and food.
For
so,
other
like,
things.
for
but
other
why,
things.
why take up that storage
I
space?
don't know. People weren't
and
thinking.
also-
I never understood that part of it.
And also, like, is the water coming out of your tap at your house? Unless you're in certain areas where there are high concentrations.
Flint, Michigan, right?
And
yeah.
I mean, and even so, I live next door to a spot in Somerville that used to have a lead foundry in it back in the day. And then they ended up doing remediation, whatever, and paving, and putting over like a little park and whatever. So some time ago they were like, oh, there's high lead, and which would be natural as you see, how soil works.
Right.
And
But does it go through the pipes? It can't go through the pipes.
well, that's the thing. They were checking to see if there was any
contamination
damage in the
yeah,
water
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah,
There
yeah.
wasn't.
Okay.
But like, unless the municipal water or the water in your well is contaminated, like, why buy bottled water?
Well, yeah, true. Well, if you transportation
Transportation
a
is
little
the
bit,
thing.
it's convenience. I mean, it's not necessarily you can make the extra effort, but if you
Yep.
need the convenience of it, or
Yeah.
you can probably do that.
Yep. But I don't understand like why people are stocking up on that specific commodity. It's like
No,
it's
I
like
didn't
when
get
there's
that
a
one either.
hurricane and everybody's like,
Yeah.
milk, bread, and batteries. Like,
No.
what's gonna like?
No.
What?
No, if anything,
I
you
never
get-
got that.
No, I got fat though. I would buy. It scared me one day because when I went to my usual, I stopped by at the store at the way home from work and I loaded up on necessities like protein. Just bought protein, fish, chicken, beef. But then my next round, when I shopped around here, that was some scary shit. Walking in to your supermarket that you go to all the time and seeing, usually you're used.
Protocols.
No, there were no protocols
none.
at this point. There was just empty
Yeah.
shelves.
Yeah.
That freaked me out.
Yeah.
I was like, I called my wife. I'm like, yeah, there's nothing here.
I'm
I
walking
can't.
distance
I'm like,
from several grocery stores.
yeah.
But the closest one to me is a Market Basket. That's already crazy.
Right.
And then I went to that probably the week after everything closed.
Mhm.
2 weeks after. And they had done pretty well on like stocking the shelves with dry product and blah blah.
Yeah.
But the produce section,
Gone. I'll tell you though.
they were
I
like
was
open bags of carrots, man. Like,
I was
I'm like, wow, it's come to that.
fighting over it.
Yeah.
I liked. Within 3 weeks though. 3 weeks. They had it pretty well restocked.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I would go there and I'd be like, it sounds corny, but like we didn't. This is back when you thought your brain would melt when you get this thing. Everybody was going to get it, and everybody was dying.
Yeah.
And I walked in. I said to the people that worked there, the people I'd see all the time and interact with, I would just thank them. I was like, thank you for working.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, I'd mean it. I was like, thank you
it's
for
a
working.
thing.
Like it was, because you're the only thing that's open. That liquor stores and weed shops are like the only thing open.
Convenience store type shit.
Yeah, convenience store types. But I loaded up on, once that settled down, have you tried fudge covered Nutter Butters yet?
No.
Oh man. these are like a Nutter Butter
Oh,
cookie.
yeah.
I'm a peanut butter guy.
Me too.
Oh, the peanut butter Nutter Butter cookie covered in chocolate. It's so good.
That sounds awesome.
It's so good.
You ever had those peanut butter cookies with the Hershey's Kiss dropped in the middle of it?
Yeah, they
That's-
make them fresh at the bakery section.
My
though.
girlfriend makes those for like holiday stuff.
Oh,
Man, she always is like, "Oh yeah, we'll bring over like 2 each person for like wherever we're bringing them."
Mhm.
But luckily, wherever we bring them, the math doesn't work out. So
So you gotta bring.
yeah, so like 9 cookies are left or whatever. So
So this is like party etiquette. If you bring over, like my wife makes awesome chocolate chip cookies, right? When you bring like a container over to a party or to an event or something, not everybody eats them. Because you like those chocolate chip cookies, or you like the Hershey's Kiss and the peanut butter cookie. Does the remainder of that container make it way back out with you? Like that's
Well, here's the
probably
thing.
bad etiquette, right?
no, I don't. I think it's appropriate etiquette. But what you do is you leave like you. Firstly, you have to announce like you're oh, I'm packing up like blah blah.
Oh, right. Oh, I need the container, right? Because you don't want to give.
So
you don't want to
wanna
leave the Tupperware there.
container. So
Yeah.
you have to take whatever in the container that you've already brought. But you can leave obviously cookies if anybody wants one.
Mm-hmm.
But you can be like, hey, like I'm packing up stuff. Does anybody need like? Yeah.
You don't want these cookies.
Yeah, like you don't have to do everything all at the same volume.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, you have to take your container with you, otherwise it's crazy.
Yeah, that'd be
Like,
rude. It'd be all right. You
littering
know,
somebody else's house.
I think you're right. It would be rude
Yeah.
to leave the container there. And
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. I like it.
No,
but
so I mean, whatever comes with it, obviously,
Yeah.
is yours. I mean, and obviously, it's etiquette to also take like whatever else was there, like a little bit, like oh, we have
get
like
a little
extra,
closer to the mic. I just want to make sure.
like oh,
everybody-
we have an extra shrimp cocktail or something. Like
yeah.
like, I mean, it's only proper etiquette to take that if somebody were to offer it.
Of course, you're at a party.
Yeah.
Well, I put on 5 solid pounds over at quarantine, and then somewhere in April, I got on the scale and I was like, oh shit, no, this isn't gonna fly. This is like the diet starts now. And I put on the 5. It took the additional 5 off, and an additional 7 since then.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Now,
I got
are
like
you
10 more to go, and I'm back to being ripped.
Are you a diet? Ripped it up. Are you a diet guy or are you an exercise guy?
I
Like,
exercise.
To monitor your weight.
I
or
exercise
maintain
all
your
the time, regularly, which was harder during quarantine because it was like the gyms were shut, right? So and it was still cold, so I'd be out running at the outside at the track to get some cardio. I'd figure out workouts here, air squats since I couldn't do legs, lots of push-ups, stuff like that. But for me to lose weight, it's diet. It's just diet.
I think that's most people.
Yeah, I don't bump up my workouts to anything that much different than what I would normally do. My biggest thing is I'll eat dinner, and dinner's done, and then there's like either dinner part 2 or dessert. And then, if you have something sweet, well, wouldn't something salty be good to balance it
you
out?
gotta temper it.
Yeah, and then it's just a rabbit hole I go down.
Yep.
And I'm like, I get back on the scale.
Have
and
you
I'm
ever
like,
thought
I'm
of
plus 2
making your
pounds.
desserts sweet and salty?
I have. Have you had a pretzel cone on ice cream? Ice cream pretzel cone.
Yeah, I feel like I've had that. I also like ice
It's
cream
so good
with
that-
pretzels on top.
Rankin Tories. There's a couple. There's one in Belmont. There's one in Lexington.
Mhm.
Rankin Tories makes pretzel cones. You get whatever ice cream you want, but you get it on a pretzel cone. When you get down to that pretzel cone, it's so fucking good. It's so delicious. And you just want more pretzel cone and ice cream.
Yeah,
it
'cause
doesn't.
it's salty, savory.
Yeah,
sweet.
well, the salt makes you want the
Yep.
sweet more. It's bananas how good it is. But that's what I can't do. I have to when dinner's done, brush my teeth. That I'm 80% of the time that works to not eat for the rest of the night when I brush my teeth after dinner. Other than that, if I don't brush my teeth, we're like, all right, I'll have a cookie. And
I'm just
one-
like a
one cook-
gluttonous
yeah.
sloth. So like,
You don't work out?
I don't work out really at all. I've only recently started.
That's not good.
Dude, you don't
As a
have to
general,
tell
like
me.
we're both older
And I'm
now.
old,
We're both
yeah.
older now. You got to work
Yeah.
out,
And I don't.
and you got to eat better.
Yeah, and what's crazy, is like I've worked in food and agribusiness for years. I know nutritionally what I should be doing, but I
Right.
just never do.
Is the doctor how healthy are you?
I mean, I'm not gonna die tomorrow or anything, but like I should be more concerned with my mortality than I am. You know what I mean? Like,
You're not concerned with your mortality?
I mean, everybody goes, right? But
Everybody
like,
goes, but you don't think about it.
It's not. I'm not saying
like
like fatalist or anything, but like
well, you don't have kids yet, and it's a different.
I'm not gonna have kids.
You're not gonna. All right, so you're not gonna have kids. It's a different perspective. Like I don't think about death, but when I get on a plane, all right. So if I get on a plane for a business trip, I'm not that I'm scared to death of flying, but I'm scared to death of dying on that plane and not being there for my daughter
Yeah.
and my wife
Yeah.
and my just that aspect of
Yep.
it, right? Like just daddy's
the
gone.
impact.
Right, daddy's gone.
Yep.
And I don't get to be there. That's what would make me sad. But if the three of us are on a plane, like if we go on vacation somewhere or we're on a trip, and I'm like, all right, well, if this thing goes down,
At least I'm with them.
I'm with them. I mean, like it's kind of fucked up, but it's it's at least it's like we're all going to heaven.
There is
we'll meet in
definitely
heaven.
a psychological.
But-
aspect. We'll be
but-
there
but-
together.
We'll be there
arm in arm.
together, and that'll kind of be not that I obviously don't want that to happen,
Yeah.
but that's just like what I kind of think about.
Yep.
Like, well, okay, I mean, obviously I don't want the plane to crash, but if it crashed, we'll all be in heaven together, and that's it, done. But so I get like with that kind of thing, I get emotional because when you have a kid, and I have a daughter, and there's with dads and daughters, man, like every movie now, I'm
like commercials and shit.
Oh my god! Do you want to see the
Hey,
commercial that makes me cry?
I'm
I might
completely-
cry on. I might cry on this podcast.
I cry at like movies and
No, yeah.
commercials sometimes too, and I'm a pretty emotionally stable person for the most part. But like
Pretty.
put me in front of the color purple that last scene, and I'm just like, ah!
I just
Sealy.
watched dad commercial. Oh wait, here. Subaru dad commercial. Hang on. No wait, this isn't it. This is hang on. No, bus stop. Subaru bus stop commercial. Hang on. Well, wait. Sit back. I'll get it up. Okay. But I watched Ford versus Ferrari this weekend. Have you seen Ford versus Ferrari?
I haven't.
Is this the one?
Is that the one with Christian?
It's with Christian Bale and Matt Damon, right?
Uh-huh.
So in the movie, spoiler alert, Christian Bale dies at the end. Okay, sorry.
I mean, there's history to follow.
Well, right, yeah, if you look at it. So I watched that movie, and like, of course, like I sort of knew it was sort of coming. I remember hearing about it. Still, when he dies,
it's still an emotional thing.
he has a son in the movie, and he and the son are super close. It's like the best relationship you can imagine for a father and son. I thought it was Subaru. Oh, man. Hang on. Let me type this up. It was a Subaru commercial. School bus. First day of school commercial. That's it. Hang on. No, first day of school. Yeah. Is this it? Damn it. I want the freaking Subaru first day of school commercial. It's all dogs. Ah, this sucks. I wanted this. Hang on. Let me just see. alternate ending. Okay, this is it. All right, hang on. All right, so let me go to the
Preface this a little bit.
All right, so put the cameras on here. Okay, so it's a Subaru commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Dad leaving for work, daughter kindergarten, first day of school. Let me see. It says alternate ending. Hopefully this isn't weird.
Yeah.
You know it's gonna be weird.
Don't know what to do.
You're fine, okay? You look so pretty. Okay? Love
Oh God, she's adorable.
you. I'm overprotective.
Look at this.
That's why I got a Subaru.
Oh God, see, I'm getting.
That's what makes a Subaru.
Oh Jesus Christ! All right, that was the alternate ending.
That's the alternate
That's
ending
the
right
alternate
there.
ending. I'm glad they did that because the original commercial.
You would have teared up just now.
Oh God, that it just like the little girl, you know, because when you're a dad, you get there. It's like that little girl. She's getting on the school bus. She's like that first bit of independence, but she's having fun with the other kids, and she sees her friends and all that stuff. And you see that, and you're like, oh my God, like I love this thing more than anything you've ever loved anything before. And you know, you get teary eyed. And now, like all these stupid movies with a daddy-daughter relationship.
Yep.
I'm a puddle. I'm a goddamn puddle. Matthew McConaughey and Jessica Chastain in that space movie. Did you see it? What the hell was it called?
No.
I forget. So Matthew McConaughey is like an astronaut, and he like sort of time travels and talks to his daughter Jessica Chastain as an adult.
Huh.
And to save the world, because the world, the world's falling apart because of the environment. So they like create a spaceship and fly off and find other planets. So that one, like, there's these scenes with like the father-daughter relationship, and I'm just like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm like, I have the biggest frog in my throat, and I can't. And you're just totally, you're totally overwhelmed by what you're seeing because of what you've gone through. It's just like, you never would have done that.
There's a movie with Chris Evans, maybe.
Chris Evans, okay. Which one?
And Jenny Slate as a teacher, and there's like a precocious little girl in it.
Yeah. Oh,
I forget what the movie is, like what
Let me
it's
look it up.
called.
I'll GM that
But
shit.
the little girl's like a genius.
Okay.
And anyway, there's certain scenes in there, and he's actually her uncle, and there's certain scenes in there that I, as somebody that's empathetic, get teary-eyed sometimes with relationships like that. But for me, there's like
Gifted.
yeah.
Gifted.
But for me, there's just like certain scenes of stuff that I'll just be like, oh God,
Yeah.
like every time, even though I know it's coming.
Yeah. I don't even know how we got here, but I don't
Yeah,
care.
who knows?
It was like, it's unbelievable. Yeah, but that's just like, I've been weirdly, I would have thought if you said, oh, you're going to be trapped in your house with your family every single day, 4 months, previously to this, be like, oh God, Jesus, I don't know how we're going to make it. We've been closer than ever.
Yeah, same.
Closer than ever.
Same.
Like, I actually pity single people at this. Not necessarily. All right, well, let me say that. If you've taken this time as a single person, what?
I pity single
I
people.
pity. Well, to a point. If you
Like people that live alone, or
living alone was tough. However, if you took this time as an opportunity to work on yourself, get in good shape, learn a language, learn a new skill, learn how to cook, like get into something and like enrich your life. I think, if you had the time to
and
do
use
it,
this time as a catalyst to do stuff that you
Right.
could have done previous.
exactly,
Okay.
like something you've always wanted to do, and you take that time,
Yep.
learn a musical instrument,
Yep.
whatever, you do that. I think like that's a good use, making your life, you as a human being, and improving your soul and you as an individual. I think that's incredibly valuable. But when you're living with somebody, it's like, and you're in a committed relationship.
Yeah, dude, try living in an open loft.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, my house
isn't
that big, but it's like we have rooms for us to. Yeah.
So mine's like if you picture 4 like truck containers.
4 like
two
on the
by
bottom,
2.
2 on the top.
Yep.
Okay.
So my living room area is 2 vertically, and then the one on the bottom is kitchen and dining room, like dining area, and then the one on the top is a bedroom and bathroom, and then we have another like half bathroom in this little hallway thing.
Okay.
So,
but you have 2. You do have 2 toilets.
That we were just talking about. Yeah, we do have 2 toilets.
That would be critical.
Yeah.
You need, if you lived in an apartment with only one, that would be.
We've done that before.
But not during a shutdown.
Not during a shutdown.
If you had 1 toilet during a shutdown, that would be a nightmare.
Yeah, probably.
That would be bad, I think. Well, that's good, though.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it sounds like you have enough space. Like
we have different schedules anyway. Like,
Okay.
she wakes up, like, fairly early and goes to bed at, like, 9:30, 10 o'clock. Whereas I get up anywhere between 8 and 10, and then we'll stay awake until about 3 or 4.
3 or 4?
Yeah.
What do you do past midnight? I mean, are you working, or are you just like chilling and playing video games or something?
Yeah, no, I don't play video games.
I don't either. I just
was
wondering.
But like watching TV, reading stuff.
Yeah.
Smoking fools on social media. Yeah, that type of thing.
Yeah.
I
can't.
work stuff. Like,
yeah.
Depending. Like,
I haven't seen 3 a.m. years, man.
Yeah, I see it on the reg.
I just yeah. I just crash.
And then like I get like sometimes my most creative and active ideas like between midnight and 3.
But you wake up between 8 and 10?
Yeah.
That's not a lot of sleep. You can deal with that? Like 5 to 7 hours?
Yeah, I typically get like 4 to 6 hours.
Oof. I can't. Last night I got 10 hours of sleep. Solid 10.
I woke up.
It was so good.
I woke up at 10:30 today.
I went to bed. It was at 8 o'clock.
I went to bed
10
at
o'clock on a Saturday
4:30.
night. 4:30?
Yeah.
You woke up at 10? All right,
10:30.
10:30, 6 hours?
Yeah, 6 hours.
That's not too bad. 4:30?
Yeah.
How?
Oh, dude, looking up at the sky, like hanging out.
The Blueberry Kush.
Looking at the moon.
I do.
I will
when
every so often literally post on Facebook like, everybody look up at the moon. It's awesome.
Is that see, I do that. Okay, I come home at night. It's a beautiful night like tonight.
Yeah. And you live in
warm.
the sticks, man. It's dark as fuck.
I don't live in the sticks. I live in the burbs. I like to visit the sticks. I like living in the burbs. But I'll do that. I'll come home and I'll just take a second and I'll look up and I'll just check out the stars. And this is
I'm super into it.
Yeah, but is it cliche? Is it? I don't think it's cliche.
I have an app that I use to look at stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
The constellation?
Sky View. Yeah.
How do you point it up at the sky? It tells you what it is?
Yeah, it shows you literally like what's going on in this. It shows you literally what's going on in the sky.
Wow.
Yeah, so you point it up, you can see like the planets, like whatever. So right now, if we were to look up, sort of southeast.
That's better to do that.
Yeah. Where the moon at, like towards the direction of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
You would almost to your right.
How full is the moon right now?
I think it's waning right now, so
That means it's going
going
getting
down.
smaller.
Yeah. But anyway, if you look up to your right and up a little bit, you'd see a really bright thing that looks like a star. That's actually Jupiter.
Really?
And then
it's
the
next to the moon?
No, it's like
Near the moon,
the
yeah.
moon right now is kind of just based on the time of day, is sort of near the horizon.
Oh, okay.
Whereas this would be more, if you were looking towards that,
Vertical.
it would be a little bit more vertical and at like 2:30.
Okay.
And
I
so
get
anyway,
spacey, but you have like a nice deck though that you can look at.
Yeah. But anybody can do
Is there
this
a lot
from
of
the
light?
street.
Yeah, but is there
There's a ton of light
pollution?
pollution, and
I get less here, but it's got to be bad in Somerville.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. No, that's what stinks
but
about
the
it.
app still works pretty well. But,
Okay.
I mean, there's interesting things going on. Especially right now, there's a comet at the horizon that you can see at like 4:30 in the morning.
So you're
if you
staying up
wanna
for that?
wake up.
That's cool.
Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah,
Oh,
but-
for example, turn around. There's actually Jupiter right there. It's funny that we were talking about it.
I can't see shit.
There? No. See, right where I'm looking, if you move a little bit towards
way?
this way, see that really bright star?
Not yet. I got to come out from the lights. I'll do
Yeah,
that
maybe.
later.
Anyway, it's right there. I can see it. So to the left of that is Saturn. Pretty
So you can
interesting just to check that stuff out.
So that's what you do at 3 a.m.?
Yeah,
That's
check
nice.
that. Watch TV. I'm
What
trying
do
to
you- what
read.
do you- what do
I'm
you-
trying to read a book now called Creative Quest from Questlove.
What's that about? I like him.
Basically, how to manifest creativity.
Okay.
And goes through his process to do it, and explores some other people's, and like how to leverage. I'm basically at this early section in the book about how to leverage mentors and that type of thing, which I've had some interesting mentors growing up, and I consider myself mentor to others at this point in my career, as well as just being an old dude.
Yeah. What's Quest?
But I'm still still learning. So
I find,
everybody.
I think I've gained some wisdom in my years,
Just from experience?
Just, yeah, like life.
Yeah.
Like,
LIVIN.
yeah.
Yeah.
But there's so many things you could say, oh, I wish I knew then what I know now.
Oh, yeah.
But it's part of the journey.
Yep.
And, when you go through some struggle, it's like it sucks while you're going through it.
Yep.
But when you come out on the other side of it and you realize,
Yeah, you can
what,
see,
what
you can actually
learned.
reflect back on those
Yeah.
learnings or whatever.
Yeah. No. I think even the word that wisdom, like people are, lots of people are smart, but not everybody's wise.
Yep.
It's just like I'm a reasonably smart guy. I'd like to think I am. Anyway, I try to process information and analyze it and figure out what it is, but that's not the same as like wisdom.
Yeah, true.
Or like lived experience.
Well, it's like when people differentiate between street smarts and book smarts or whatever. It's there's learnings from all different facets, I think.
What does Questlove have to say about it?
So it basically in his at least in this part that I'm getting up to is like how to manifest your creativity and how he's thought about it and how to talk about it in a way that allows people to be able to explore how they think about their own creativity. So I think that's interesting in terms of like how there's several people that, and this he actually mentions this in the book, that think they're not creative.
Mm-hmm.
And what this part has sort of said is like you're defining creativity as a certain thing, and maybe pull back from that view of what creativity is, like being creative versus being an artist. Whereas an artist manifests that creativity in some sort of
there's an actual
format
something comes out.
where someone who's creative, it doesn't necessarily have to manifest.
How would you know if they're creative then?
You don't necessarily have to say if somebody else is creative. This is more of like how to internalize your own creativity, to realize just the fact that you may have some that you may have not viewed before.
I would struggle with that because
I think a lot of people struggle with this book actually based on that. 'Cause my girlfriend had the same response, like the conceptualization of what that creativity didn't resonate with her.
The word itself.
Yeah.
Create. You're making something.
Yeah, but
when you manifest there's synapses firing in your head at the time your hands are typing the words or playing the music.
Yep.
Or
I think
or producing the podcast or whatever the format
whatever it is.
But it has to be creative. You have to actualize that into existence. I would think otherwise I wouldn't say how can you prove
that
you
actualization of putting that thing into existence is actually conceptualizing a thought and not necessarily the manifestation or the implementation of that thought.
At a minimum, you would have to create some record of that thought. No?
Maybe.
Because I would think, and this has happened to me, you have a realization or incredibly creative thought, and all of a sudden...
But you just said it. You have a creative thought.
All right. Yeah, you got a good point. We're getting deep here.
Yeah.
No, I like
that. Weed's kicking in nicely.
I'm only on Bud Light Lime. But it's a good point. You have the creative thought. So I guess the creative thought so if Questlove is, how do you stimulate that creative thought?
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
The thing is, though, at the end of the day, there's the sense of accomplishment only comes from actually accomplishing something in the material.
Maybe. I'm a big overthinker. So I sometimes get joy in the overthinking process in itself. I don't know, just some
But not obsessing things, like overthinking a problem, solutioning a problem?
Yeah. But I sometimes as an exercise, I mean, it's masturbatory sometimes, but just to overthink something.
Okay. What are you creative on now? Like, what do you do for...
Nothing. Building up a company, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd like to do other creative stuff.
Yeah. Well, did you play music? I forget. You play bass. You used to play bass.
I've played bass. I used to sing. I would like to maybe do those things. I still own a bass. I don't own an amp, but that's easy to rectify. And I wish, in retrospect, as we were saying earlier, like things you wish you knew then. I wish I knew in March. That I was going to be sitting in the house, spending this much time in the house.
That's true.
You get to pick where I would have, thought to implement some things, and maybe I should do that now. But I'll probably, as I said before, I'm a gluttonous sloth.
Yeah.
So I probably won't.
Things can change.
Yeah, they can.
I
things
think
always change.
This is true. The only constant is change. Damn it. See, I had a thought, and it just escaped me. I think it was about the bass or the musical instrument. I don't know.
Or, using this time to learn something.
Well, yeah. I mean, wouldn't you want to, better yourself for the purpose of self-enrichment?
I think, yeah, and I think this is why people come up with, resolutions every new year and blah, blah.
Yeah.
This whole idea of I'm going to better myself. Now, whether people actually implement those things, that's a different story.
Right. Well, did you read I didn't read it. This is one thing. Like you can fake that you read it because you just read the title. Malcolm Gladwell's what the hell is the book?
The Influence People one?
No, Malcolm.
I've never read a Malcolm Gladwell book.
As
far as I know.
Gladwell book. Shit. 10,000 hour rule.
No.
To be truly great at something, you have to do it for 10,000.
I know the
10,000
concept.
hours.
Yeah.
Right. So I think he came out. It sort of makes sense. It's whether it's sports, music, art, you have to just
you just put in the time.
Put in the time.
Yeah.
There's no getting around it.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely people that are like prodigious in some way, but like, that's not me.
No. I try to be like I don't know about I have too many varied interests.
Yeah.
To like I do like music. I like playing music. I play play piano, still play it. I like martial arts. I like tennis and sports. I like podcasting and politics and all this stuff.
It's hard to dedicate all that time that it takes to do something.
But it's like, do you want to be more of a Renaissance man and kind of like touch on all of it and read philosophy, or do you like purely want to be focused on
the idea of the Renaissance man has always appealed to me.
Yeah,
like the Ubermensch.
Yeah,
of Nietzsche, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting. Like I too also have just varied interests. And so yeah, it would be very difficult for me to spend 10,000 hours doing any one thing.
I don't know if it's more.
That said, I've probably spent 10,000 hours doing work shit.
Yeah, but that's different though. I mean,
it is.
But you gotta. People say that like the work is a dirty word, but I don't think it is.
I've always been impassioned by the work I've done.
No, I like working. I like feeling productive because if this was 1,000 years ago, we'd have to till the fields or hunt the wild game and go out and
you ever tilled a field?
No,
check it out.
Have you?
Yeah.
What did you till a field?
I've
Costa Rica.
No, I've done it at a farm here. In Massachusetts. I've tilled gardens.
Okay.
I've seen people do it with tractors.
Yeah.
I've never driven a tractor yet. But like I was saying, I do food and agribusiness stuff, so
okay.
I've definitely spent 10,000 hours doing that.
So you know it.
But yeah. But yeah, it's an interesting that type of like physical labor type thing is interesting.
Physical labor is it connects you to. So I'm reading a book right now. I'm finishing it up. It's called Suicide of the West by Jonah Goldberg. It's very good, and I would recommend it to anybody who wants an introduction to philosophy and politics and all these things, at least the first half anyway. And he starts it out really well. He kind of draws you in and says, imagine there's an alien race out there, and this advanced alien race, and they swing by Earth every 10,000 years, and they started swinging by Earth about 200,000 years ago, and every 10,000 years they swing by Earth, right? And he says, every 10,000 years, they'd be semi-hairless apes fighting and foraging for food. Same thing. 10,000 years later, 10,000 years later, for like several 100,000 years. And then 10,000 years ago, if they swung by, they'd say, well, okay.
Dude, you're killing me.
What's
like,
that?
They're like, dude, you're killing me. Like, stop it. Civilize.
They did. They're like, oh, we've noticed a change. The semi-hairless apes have decided to settle in certain areas and begin agriculture, right? 10,000 years ago, give or take. Now, fast forward to now, if they arrived in 2020, not 8,000 AD or BC. I'm sorry, 8,000 BC, but they arrived in 2020. all of a sudden they would see all of this, right? And you would think, if you were the alien race, because you only visited every 10,000 years, like, we've done this trip 20 times. On the 21st time from the 10,000 years, they really, 10,000 years of progress got them to this point where they have nuclear weapons. They can travel to space. They have airplanes flying around, electricity. They've mastered all this technology and civilization, and they've really built. They went from a population of a few million, give or take, fluctuating, to billions because they figured out science and agriculture and all that stuff to improve upon it. However, that advancement didn't take place over 10,000 years. It really took place over about 400
years.
400.
Uh-huh.
Right. So that
Industrial Revolution.
Yeah. So that huge advancement in the amount of time that we have been here on Earth from a DNA perspective, it's fascinating, I think, because you would think if you're that alien race that it would slowly, progressively happen. But really, we're hardwired to throw the spear, kill the wildebeest, skin it, work with our hands, be active, do those things. And it's only in the past, and I'll even shrink it, 50 maybe
years?
100 years, where we become these sedentary creatures and we sit around doing that.
Yep.
So, I'm
due
doing
to
I'm doing yard work,
foods
right. But yard work, tilling the fields, doing all that stuff, being physical, I think is something that, that's
devolved.
Yeah.
We don't even walk around
this
stuff, especially in certain places.
I think we need to tap into it. You need to tap into that stuff to
get primal.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, it's either one way or the other, right? We tap into our natural base instincts or completely gravitate away from them, become one with the singularity, get microchipped, and take it from there. Shit. Oh, man, we've been going for over an hour and a half. Do you have anywhere to go? It's after 10.
No.
All right. Well, I mean, I do have work in the morning. We can wrap it up in a few. No, this has been good. This has been fun.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I wanted. I'm like, I don't want to talk politics. I'm so burned out. I'm done.
I'll talk about anything. I'm just even stuff I shouldn't be talking about in terms of expertise.
Let me tell you.
So, for example,
it's all
that's Jupiter right behind you.
I can't see it.
It's literally behind you now.
Now I see it.
Yeah.
It's very bright. It's very bright in the sky.
It's the brightest star in the sky.
If you're watching this live, it's 10:10 p.m. Look up and kind of, a little bit above the horizon, Jupiter is there and beautiful. Do you have a telescope?
I don't, because I feel like
you should get a telescope if you're into it.
I would love instead one of those viewfinders that you see at Empire State Building or something like that.
Where you drop the quarter in?
Yeah, like one of those things. I feel like that would be less creepy than having a telescope or binoculars from where I am and where my neighbors could be situated.
Screw your neighbors, man. Just do you.
I just don't want to risk seeing something.
Of your neighbors? What if you see something good? It's better than the internet. Oh, man. I got bugs on me.
I always have a fear that, I'm somebody's, remember in Friends, Ugly Naked Guy?
Yeah.
I feel like if we're somebody to look into my windows, I could be ugly naked guy, and I don't want to see my ugly naked guy, or I feel like it's
Let me tell you
intrusive
something.
in a certain
But do you
way.
remember Ugly Naked Guy from the show? Ugly Naked Guy was he was a bit of an exhibitionist, right? He walked around ugly naked with his shades
we all
up.
a little bit exhibitionist?
Not so. Not in my. Not. I live in a very small neighborhood.
Yeah.
I don't want my neighbors peeking in and seeing me for sure. And I don't think I'm that ugly naked guy, but maybe.
Hey,
but still,
you're 10 pounds from being ripped.
Hell yeah, I am. I'll let you know. I'll get rid of the dad bod in about 10 pounds.
I would have to lose
why-
about 40 to get rid to have a dad bod.
Well, you gotta stick around longer, man. You gotta like just improve your.
Yeah, improve my diet.
Yeah.
Improve my physicality.
What do you? Did you? Ever,
I have
did you
been
ever play-
doing a little more physical, but
What do you like to do? I mean, have you ever enjoyed working out, sports,
Oh, yeah,
anything?
yeah. Uh-huh.
Get into something that you want to improve your life.
yeah, I would love to play soccer, but like, who knows if that's ever gonna happen again?
Soccer's one of those you play outdoors, an outdoor spring league, fall league.
True.
I could see that happening.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know. I went to Chick-fil-A for lunch Friday, and they have the app.
What the fuck is a Chick-fil-A?
There's one in Woburn.
I know that one.
Right
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
near 93 and 95.
Yeah.
I order on the app. I walk in, and I'm masked up, right? Because I believe in masks indoors. And I've been on social media. You know what it like.
Mm-hmm.
You know my opinions on this. Like, masks outside are stupid. The air currents are just too. You're this outdoors.
Here's air.
Yeah, it's not going to make a difference. But if you're inside, yeah, you know what? Mask up. I don't want people coughing on my can of beans at the supermarket. Don't.
Or licking them.
Yeah. Well,
Which is another thing.
now it's this thing where I walk into Chick-fil-A, and maybe it's a Chick-fil-A anomaly, and I don't know if the Chick-fil-A people are gonna. Somebody can probably cut
You think
this.
it's
But there were like
Chick-fil-A political stance.
it maybe I'm concerned
we
that
don't work on Sundays and we don't wear masks.
well, no, the workers were fine. It was the customers. So I go in, and
which is always the case.
and I'm like looking at, and he's got
always right.
he's got his fucking mask down around his thing, and there's a
The
bunch of
chin
guys.
strap mask.
Yeah, or like one of the cover. I bought one of them, the one that goes like the one you have around your
like
fully
neck
neck,
gaiter.
but down.
Yep.
And I'm like, and then there's one guy who looked like a civilian. I'll say that because the next few were a bunch of army guys.
Army guys or people from Hanscom.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, they were army. It said army.
Oh, okay.
I think Hanscom's Air Force, but they have army.
Benefited from the recruiting center.
Yeah, something like that. So there's a bunch of them there, maybe half dozen, and a couple. Some are wearing masks in the place, some are not. And I'm just like fuck, man. What do I'm like? I don't want to start. I'm like, just give me my goddamn chicken sandwiches and I'll leave. But like, what do you like? There's a thing where I think people are being deliberately provocative, right?
Totally.
They're waiting for you to call them, and I'm just like,
Totally.
and I'm thinking about it and going like, motherfucker, like one, the dude doing it, the dude waiting to be called out, who was just the civilian.
Yeah.
I'm looking at him going,
That's always
if I call him out, I'm pretty sure I can take him.
Mhm.
Like, unless he's like a black belt, I'd smash him if he became. But I'd be like, I want to go up to him and be like, what are you like? Are you like? Do you believe in QAnon and all this bullshit? Like, are you really that cool and hip? You think you're really sticking it to the man?
Like, yeah,
and, like,
yeah. What's your stance here?
Like you're avoiding tyranny.
But he's wearing one around his neck.
That's what I don't get. Or maybe he's just.
It's a paradox.
Fucking,
Maybe he's just flighty.
Maybe he's just stupid.
Could be ADD.
It could be. It could be. But it's just like when you go inside, wear the goddamn mask. Now I'll be the first one to stand with you. If you're outside, you're not in anybody's face. You're just hanging out. You're chilling, outdoors, running, whatever. Like, no, you don't need a mask. And if somebody comes up to you and be like, "Put your mask on," like this, first of all, none of the rules really even say that. They say if you can't do 6 feet, then you put on a mask outside. Yeah. But still, outdoors, I'm with you. But indoors, it's just like we don't know everything about this thing yet. Like the WHO comes out with this video. I won't pull it up, but like last week about how they don't think it's still transmitted, water droplet based. What you breathe out. And now there's supposedly studies that come out and say no, it's airborne. Like if it's airborne, like what do you mean by airborne? Like you breathe it and it goes through a vent and like that airborne kind of airborne, maybe, but I think I think a lot more people would be sick. If
I
that
really wish we had clearer definitions and guidelines this whole time. And by definitions, like new terms a la social distancing, like what does that mean? It's like a malleable term to people because of the fact that there was no set, like, here's what this actually means, right? The 6 feet is like is accepted as like whatever, but like
I think that means that just you don't want to breathe or cough on.
Just don't be in someone's face.
Don't be in
right?
someone's
Like,
face. Yeah.
But Americans already have a different perspective of physical space and like where in personal space, like, which is wider than most people's anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's a Victorian.
Yeah. Perhaps.
Holdover. Yeah. I think we're not as huggy as the French and Italians.
Yeah,
sure.
but we're way huggier than the Brits. And I think
probably.
I think we're huggier than most people, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
You go to France, so they're
that's a quick kiss. That's not like wrapping your arms around somebody.
Oh, I say that. Well, as far as disease transmission goes, I think you're putting your mouth on someone rather than.
So for example,
then you bring in a big,
Yeah, I used to live in Budapest in Hungary, and you do the 2 kisses, pussy.
Mm-hmm.
Pussy is the word for kiss.
Really, in Hungarian?
Hungarian, yeah. Pussy.
You got to visit Hungary.
Yeah, you should. It's a great place. But
I think I have some ancestry in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But you do the pussy like kiss,
mm-hmm.
but you don't really touch the person. You
really?
Just kind of
you fake it,
sideswipe it.
Yeah, that's a weird custom.
Well,
yeah,
physical space.
I don't know, man. I don't think this is not. I mean, I know that at the same time, I want this to be over and move on. But at the same time, still, like, this is a nasty disease.
Yep.
And it's
and
bad.
Who knows how long
bad.
culturally that some of the social norms that have transformed.
Oh, it's screwed up
last.
everything. It's screwed up everything. Like, there's ripple effects now as we record this in, like, early July, mid-July 2020. The commercial real estate market is going to collapse. I'm calling that right now. Office space.
Office space is going to be different.
People are setting their budgets right now.
Yep.
They're just not getting as much space or different types of space, smaller space. That's
But
going to happen.
What's interesting
Sports.
with distancing, places that will require people to be in physical proximity or physical
you got to be further apart.
Further apart. They're going to have to be further apart. So what does that mean for the space, like office space, in commercial space usage?
It either is unworkable,
yep,
or less workable, and a big chunk of your workforce is at home.
Regardless, prices will have to come down.
Yeah, that's happening.
Yep.
And there's a ton of office space in Massachusetts, so that's the next domino to fall. Large gatherings and money that's made from large gatherings, I don't see how that's coming back.
And secondary
soon.
and tertiary money from that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whether it's a concert or a sporting event.
Yep.
Forget about it. That's not anytime soon.
Yep.
No, it sucks. It sucks. But I oscillate. Between can we control it? It's like, the whole thing was like, when this all started, flatten the curve so we don't overwhelm the system. But I'm pretty sure, like, we were all supposed to get this thing, right? Now it's like
maybe, but
I mean, even though I don't want to get it, but wait, just drag it out, so they develop more treatments. So when you get it, you can handle it. I don't know that,
and that the science would catch up to the disease,
because we can't operate a working civilization like just shutting everything down.
But we've done well so far, and if there's anything that our history has proven, it's that mankind in general has been able to adapt.
Yeah.
And this is all things. adaptation is part of the continuation of life. So like, people will have to adapt, and like we already have in terms of social norms. Now, whether that continues and in the same way, I don't know. But like, what's interesting is how some places and some things were able to switch so quickly. So, for example, I don't have kids, as we've discussed, but like schools, to be able to go from physical to online was an amazing transformation to do so quickly. Now that said, it left some kids in the lurch because single parents or even the technology to be able to have that. People in rural, there are places in rural U.S. that still don't have internet, let alone high-speed internet.
Yeah.
So, like how do we continue the education system in that way? It was an interesting adaptation that was made.
That's the biggest thing.
Transformation.
And I guess we're having that fight right now. Like next week, it'll
probably
like
how
start.
To come back.
Like I said,
I don't have a dog in the fight, but it's
they have to first of all
we have to be mindful of what's going on.
The social interaction.
Did you just Miyagi that bug?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it was on me. I just bang.
Wow.
And slammed it. Yeah, I don't know what schools are going to do, man. Yeah. I mean, they're planning on opening up, and they should. But I don't know, man. I think the focus has to be on like capacity and treatment, and just like
same with everything else.
And just being smarter, not shutting things down. Because if we do that, there's just all these unintended consequences. My daughter hasn't seen her friends in 4 months, 3 months.
Yeah, I'm not even sure I have friends still.
Well, we're social distancing. The camera angles can't tell this, but we are past 6 feet apart. We're outdoors. No. All right, man. I'm gonna end it. I think that your deep part about adapting and the human race adapting to
that's a good end.
That's a very good way to wrap it up.
Yep.
I will recommend 24-Hour Party People. You got to watch that.
I'm definitely going to
watch it. It's so good. It's
definitely
a great movie.
Steve Coogan and Simon Pegg.
I don't even remember Simon Pegg in it. Maybe did he play? Who was the lead singer of Joy Division again?
Ian.
It was either him or the guy who was the villain.
I'm blanking on this now. I shouldn't have smoked 2 joints.
No, the guy who was the villain in Mission Impossible, the more recent ones, the past 2 Mission Impossibles. I think the guy who's the villain played Ian something, the Ian from Joy Division. Simon Pegg was probably in it. I'm just not remembering his character. Steve Coogan is freaking hilarious in it. That's such a good movie. It's a very rewatchable movie. And they don't play it often on like.
And it's got that whole new wave vibe.
Yeah, well, that's the great part about it. It actually starts with Joy Division, and then it goes. I'm not
into New Order.
Yes, and I'm not spoiling anything here with it because it takes the Manchester
music
music
into the
scene,
whole Manchester
music scene, and then when MDMA, when ecstasy hits the scene, how it just goes like that's 89, 88, 89, 90. Around when ecstasy starts making its way into the club life,
the good old days.
Yeah, I never did ecstasy.
You're missing out.
Nah, I saw too many when I was working the door at like clubs. And
yeah, I bet.
I saw way too many
That must have been
trips.
crazy because you worked at like such a weird time and a lot of weird places, like where it was definitely a mix of like weird stuff going on. We should talk about that sometime.
That's another episode. I have stories.
I
have celebrity stories. I have. Well, I'll tease it. I have David Copperfield stories.
If he didn't have some sort of flame going up in a place and or make somebody disappear,
Dude.
I'm disappointed already.
No, this is back when he was with Claudia Schiffer.
Oh God.
So I could.
That guy led a life.
I could burn him because it was like I literally had the only perspective on the whole scene, but I'll tell that story another time. And then
It must be great being gigantic.
Yeah. I should just tell the story.
Let's tease it. The tease was good.
The tease was good. I'll do it another time. And then bunch of athletes,
guaranteed,
married
athletes
with bartenders.
Because there's nothing else going on in Boston. It's like athletes be out.
But like back when Jeter was playing, and this is back in the early 2000s. Back when Britney Spears was like the world, and like in low rise jeans. They gotta. I hate the high rise jeans, the mid level jeans right now. Back when low rise jeans and Paris Hilton and Britney Spears and Lindsay Lohan, like this is like
that's hot.
Yeah, that's hot. But all so the 03 and 04 Red Sox, the Yankees, they come into town. Like
when they were living La Vida Loca.
Yeah. Oh, this was back in the day. Plus, who else came in? Like all mostly guy celebrities. No female celebrities. Although Jessica Simpson came by one night.
I could see Jessica Simpson going out. Yeah, she's only like 5'2".
She's 5'2". You can barely notice her, but just a blonde little head bobbing all over the place. Yeah, man. No, that was fun. That's another episode. All right.
Cool.
24-hour party. People, check it out. Read Questlove's book about being creative.
Creative Quest.
Derek, you're the man. Thanks for coming on,
Thanks, Jeff.
buddy.
This is awesome.
All right. See you later.